You've felt it before. You leave a conversation and something inside you feels smaller. Not tired, taken from. And you can't explain what. By the end of this, you will. And one of these 7 rules is going to explain something about your own past that you never had words for. Let's start where most people get it backwards. You'd assume toxic people are easy to spot. Loud, cruel, obvious. They're not. The dangerous ones are charming. They remember your coffee order. They make you feel chosen. Right before they make you feel like nothing at all. Rule 1. The feeling arrives before the proof does. And that's not a flaw. Here's what almost nobody explains properly. Your gut doesn't have evidence yet when it sends the warning. It has timing, inconsistencies, the half-second pause before an answer, the story that shifts slightly each retelling, the compliment that lands a beat too fast. Your conscious mind needs weeks to gather what your body already clocked in the first 10 minutes. That's why the people who get hurt the worst aren't the ones who ignore red flags. They're the ones who wait for proof before trusting what they already knew. Smart people stopped waiting for the paperwork. Rule 2. Watch the hands, not the mouth. Words are free. Smart people wait for the second performance. Because toxic people don't have a words problem. They have a loop, and loops always repeat. One woman described a neighbor in the comments, warm, generous, the kind everyone in the building adored. They shopped together, laughed together for months. Then she introduced her to someone she was dating, and the woman went cold instantly. Started picking at her credit cards, her car, her choices. Small comments constantly until one phone call ended in bloods thicker than water, and a hang-up, a single sorry text followed. She never answered it. That's Rule 2, lived out in real time. If any part of that story sounds like someone you know, you already know the ending before they get there. Trust that. Rule 3. The boundary nobody can argue with. Not, you can't talk to me that way. Just, I won't stay in conversations that feel like this. No anger required. Because anger is a hook and calm has nothing to grab onto. They were never fighting you. They were fighting for a reaction. Rule 4. You stop being the cure. Here's the part that stings. You can be the most patient person they've ever met, and it still won't be enough. Not because you're lacking, but because their wanting has to come from inside, not from your love proving something to them. The day you accept that isn't surrender. It's the day you stop auditioning for a part they were never going to give you. Rule 5. You find out how replaceable you were. And it hurts more than the relationship did. Going gray rock isn't really about becoming boring. It's about a discovery most people aren't ready for. Toxic people were never interested in you. They were interested in what your reactions gave them. The second you stop reacting, they vanish. Fast, almost insultingly fast. And that silence answers a question you'd been too afraid to ask. Was any of it ever really about me? Rule 6. Not everyone gets to know what you're thinking. Emotional contagion means you absorb the chaos of whoever stands closest to you without ever consciously noticing it. So the inner circle shrinks, and the people who get offended by not being let in were usually the ones who needed to stay out the most. Rule 7. The leaving was never the hard part. Smart people walk away without explaining why. But here's what almost nobody says out loud. Toxic people don't grieve the relationship when you go quiet. They grieve the audience. They lose someone to perform for, not someone they loved. That's why your explanation never lands the way you hope. You're handing closing remarks to someone who only ever wanted a stage. Psychologists call the trap that follows Jade. Justify, argue, defend, explain. And it exists for exactly this reason. Every explanation is just one more curtain call you didn't know them. So here's what smart people eventually understand. The thing that actually changes how the whole story ends, you don't have to narrate your own exit. You already left. The silence afterward isn't something you owe an explanation for. It's the proof that you finally chose yourself and didn't need anyone's permission to do it.